Hi people and hello my Chili Carnage crew, it's Chili here, the man produces Iron for my eyes, doing a 5-minute review on, well, MC5, Heavy Lifting. MC5, for your information, were the band that put power in the flower power generation. Their debut release, Kick Out the Jams, is widely regarded as one of the first proto-punk albums ever recorded, along with Iggy Pop and the Stooges' debut record, of course back in 1969. But after a short stint, the band would split up, and of course the lead singer and guitarist, Wayne, would end up in jail for a few years. They would eventually reform, split up again, and reform again, and unfortunately split up again multiple times over the next coming decades. Like most people of my age, I only heard of MC5 because of Rage Against the Machine covering their song Kick Out the Jams for the Renegades album. Hell, I think that most people under the age of 50 discovered this band because of Rage Against the Machine. Now, speaking of Rage Against the Machine, the first song and title track from this record is performed of course with Tom Morello as a guest musician, who managed to jam with one of his icons, as he has previously mentioned that MC5 were a massive impact on his style and sound. The song itself sounds big and beefy, but ultimately somewhat lackluster, as Tom has to hold back his usual style to fit in on this track. Still, it's a decently hard-hitting song. Speaking of guest appearances, we also have Slash and current Alice in Chains lead singer William DuVall on the song The Edge of a Switchblade, which contains a bit of a backstory on the band, delivered both as a source of inspiration and of course warning how tricky it can be to navigate the musical world. I gotta say that I really do love this song, and I feel that it's more along the sound of what the band offered, as both Slash and DuVall tap into that inner rebel spirit on here. Now, there are 3 other songs here with guests, and these include Black Boots with Brad Brooks, which is a solid rockin' tune, while the other 2 tunes, Blind Eye and Can't Be Found, feature Dennis Thompson, who was the drummer for MC5 on their debut release Kick Out the Jams, showing his skills still behind the kit. And of course Vernon Reid from Live in Colour also makes an appearance on that last song, lending his guitar skills to the mix for another awesome tune. Lastly, we have Hit It Hard featuring Joe Berry, who was briefly in Saving Ferris. You know them. They did the ska cover version of Come On Eileen. Come on, Eileen! That's another band without an album in a long time. Interesting. Now, there are plenty of Easter eggs hidden with references to Ramblin' Rose, for example, and Kick Out the Jams mentioned within the lyrics. But the biggest callback has to be the song 25 Miles, which uses the same riff on Kick Out the Jams for this tune, except it slows it down for this effort. An interesting aspect when it comes to this record itself is how it feels like opening up a time capsule. While the music on this record has been updated to of course suit the musician's age, and of course it's not performed as fast paced as they originally would perform, the sound on this record is deeply rooted in the origins dating back to the late 60s, and does not exactly feel dated. The record casually walks along a nice edge while simultaneously retaining their own signature style, and contains some pretty reflective lyrics with profound messages that are in parts eye-opening, truthful, and upbeat, which has been a massive change compared to what I've been listening to as of late. This album is really a stark comparison, and to be honest, it stood out for that aspect alone. Now, I hope you weren't planning to of course see this band anytime soon, as it is now impossible, unfortunately. This album itself is now a tribute to an era that is long gone, as the last founding member, Wayne Kramer, passed away back in February this year. Even one of the original drummers, Dennis Thompson, who performed drum duties as mentioned before, passed away later on in the year, along with John Sinclair, the band's original manager. So this is the band's last will and testament brought to the masses after some 53 years. Even if it hits the airwaves with little fanfare or real notifications, it is still a worthy one to listen to. Overall, I'm going to give this album a score of 6.5 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being The Edge of the Switchblade, 25 Miles, and Boys Who Play With Matches. I'm not exactly going to be rushing back to this record, I guess, but there are certainly songs on here that I might add to a playlist or two. This record alone is the biggest left field release I've seen in a number of years, and I'm quite pleasantly surprised for what the band had to offer. To be perfectly honest, I wrote off this album considering the vast difference between the release dates, and scoffed at the idea that this might have been something of value. But it is a very fun record that is worthy of listening to, and is easy to digest for its 45-minute runtime, and a great way to see off the band. It is a massive shame that Wayne didn't live long enough to see the album being released. Rock in peace, Wayne, and MC5, you will always be remembered.
Kick off the jams, motherfucker! Yeah!
If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content, because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.